Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to have a fun day today. We're going to convert this rack to fit with the Synclavier. It's got an effects unit in here. There's two quad unbalanced to balanced converters, mic preamp which probably went into the alternate inputs, another lexicon which is upside down for some reason, and unfortunately this rack doesn't actually have a bottom to it, so the cables have become a bit of a rat nest at the back here, so it'd be good to just get it all out and clean it up. And the idea is that we're going to fit it in between the main Synclavier rack. All the connections are on this side. We have very comprehensive MIDI with an input, we have throughs, 4 outputs here, an aux out, another through, another 4 MIDI outs, and the ribbon cables, it's always worth checking that they're firmly placed in to make it safe. We have the FM out, which has been modified to have the original EQ filters. The sampling polyphonic out we won't use because that's actually a copy of number 1, and I'm going to wire up the first 8 outputs to the SSL desk. And the rack is perfect because it will sit there, keep airflow for the fans. Here's our first glimpse. Oh, it's mainly D subs. Let's get a better look. So yeah, the XLRs are for the mix outs. All the other connections are on D subs. Okay, all makes sense now. This is what Pete was using to connect his GX1, hence the unbalanced to balanced converter boxes, because they're using a single-ended buffer outputs to get the signals up to line level. So currently the GX1 is connected to this little Soundcraft mixer, and it doesn't have any rack here, so we can't rack mount it. And I think that the SSL is really worthy for the Synclavier. This is the 8-channel direct out, so you can use the SSL nice preamp to set all your gains and stuff. And then we have the center console inputs and outputs, which will be going to the lexicons, and I suspect that there should be some sort of jack conversion in here, as all the lexicons are on jacks anyway, so hopefully that should be pretty straightforward. And there we go, this is what the finished rack looks like. I've made a controversial decision to use XLRs for the direct outs. This is really to encourage people to use proper balance cables. In this studio there's a lot of mono jacks for the Moog synthesizers, and I really like to encourage to use the balance outputs as nature intended. Obviously the mix outputs are also on XLRs, but that's really handy to connect to Genelex, and you can record a mix output to your computer as well. I've also added the SMPTE inputs and outputs because I intend to try and slave the Synclavier over SMPTE, so that way I can get a sample accurate to the clock because it's running off the audio engine. And then finally we have the inputs to the recording for sampling onto the Synclavier, and I have put those on TRS jacks because I can imagine people wanting to record the Moogs and all the other synths which are unbalanced anyway. I think this is a real worthy front end for such a high class instrument as the Synclavier. I'm itching to get going. Okay, we've got everything connected up now. Everything's looking really good. Looking really together. The FM here, and also the click in the SMPTE. And I'll just show you what I've done in the rack. I've velcroed everything up to the sides so now it won't drape on the floor when it's moved around. There's the D-subs, and I didn't really want to damage or change any of Pete Townshend's cables, so I ended up soldering XLRs to this front panel, and this saved me a lot of time because I didn't have to make any additional D-subs. And it was worth keeping the lexicons because the XLogic desk has 2 effect send and returns, which is really sweet. So now we've got that in place, I'm just going to double check that all the ribbon cables are firmly connected in, because you're going to have a bad time if that's not correct. And on the dock is great. So I think we're all ready to go. Let's switch it on. So at the front of the panel here we can turn on the actual rack unit, and then we can walk over here, we can turn the keyboard on, we can turn the power supply to the dock which is holding the Able computer, and log into the Mac, and now we can run the Synclavier V44 app, and we should see that it's booting the Synclavier. Yep, there you go. And it's booted up into the old school terminal window, but we can go to the library section which is new to this Synclavier OS. There's some sequence files here. Let's just quickly load up any sample just to see if we've got signal actually going to the desk. It's loading a sample there. Okay, that's loaded. We'll play the keyboard. Ooh, good. We got some signal. Looking good. I don't know.
upload an effect sound.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right, cool. Timbers must match to record on the same track. Oh, 7.